The NFL Today is presented by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of Super Bowl 41.
And welcome back to the NFL Today and Visa First on the Field. The Dolphins play the Bears today, so from our New York studios, let's head to Soldier Field, where Greg Gumbel and Dan Deerdorf are standing by. Gentlemen.
All right, thanks, JB. Halfway through the regular season, only 2 teams are unbeaten. One of them, the Chicago Bears. Superb in every phase of the game. The Bears look to give their Super Bowl aspirations another push against Miami today here at Soldier Field along the shores of Lake Michigan. And hi, everyone, and welcome to the great city of Chicago. Along with Hall of Famer Dan Deerdorf, I'm Greg Gumbel. Only 2 unbeatens in the league. One of them the Colts, the other the Bears. And it begs the question, Dan, are we looking at maybe the best team in the league here today?
Well, I think if the Super Bowl was to be played on Election Day, yes, I think you'd have to say the Chicago Bears would certainly be in it. They're playing this game, Greg, at a very high level.
As I said earlier, the Bears superb in every phase of the game, and that includes the unit that's run by defensive coordinator Ron Rivera.
Nothing new that they love their defense here in Chicago, and why not? They're the first-ranked team in the National Football League. They're solid at all 3 levels. Take a look at that. The fewest points allowed, the fewest number of yards, tied for most takeaways. They are solid from top to bottom, and they intimidate people, and they know it.
No, the Bears, one of the most legendary of franchises, legendary defenses, legendary middle linebackers. And you can go all the way back to the days of Bill George, 8 consecutive Pro Bowls in a 14-year career, and the anchor of the 1963 championship team of the Chicago Bears. And then the monster of the Midway, Dick Butkus, also 8 straight Pro Bowls in an injury-shortened career, was the quintessential middle linebacker. And then along came Mike Singletary. 10 Pro Bowls, the heart of the Chicago defense that led the charge to victory in Super Bowl 20. And nowadays, Dan, the Bears appear to have found a worthy successor prowling in the middle.
Brian Urlacher is that guy. He's got 5 Pro Bowls to his credit, the reigning Defensive Player of the Year in the National Football League. The fastest middle linebacker I've seen in quite some time, Greg. A very, very complete player and kind of humble. He said, look, don't rank me with those other guys yet. I haven't proven myself yet. You like to hear that out of a guy.
Yeah. To the Miami Dolphins now. At 1-6, a hugely disappointing season. Their starting quarterback, Dante Culpepper, not deemed healthy enough to play, which means the starting job again for the 4th straight game falls to Joey Harrington.
And I think Joey Harrington, because of his years in Detroit, has some familiarity with the Chicago Bears. He actually has a winning record against the Bears and has actually won here at Soldier Field. He's going to need a lot of help from a lot of his offensive mates. Ronnie Brown is going to have to contribute to the running game. That means his offensive line is going to have to block. He's got some quality wide receivers in Chambers and Marty Booker, the former Bear. Randy McMichael, his tight end. I think this is a guy that has a chance to be a difference in this game if he can get it open. And Wes Welker, the 3rd guy in, kind of explosive, Greg, can make things happen, maybe a big play. I think big plays are what the Dolphins are going to have to compete today.
You mentioned Joey Harrington's familiarity with these Chicago Bears. We asked Joey about his approach to this game and this team today.
The key to playing this team is to, I don't want to say be content taking what they give you, but understand that they're a very good defense and they do things very well. And so, you know what? Maybe punting isn't a bad thing all the time. And I say that in all seriousness. Be content taking completions, and sooner or later you're gonna, you have to be able to pick your way down the field.
Harrington figures prominently in your Dell Direct game points, Dan.
Greg, he's going to have to play a really good game. He's had 7 interceptions in those 3 starts. He can't do that today if they expect to win, because the Bears are expecting to have an old-fashioned fish fry. They know the Dolphins have only won once. They expect to get on them early and stay there. And will this be the field of dreams for the Chicago Bears? It's starting to look like if you want to go to the Super Bowl in the NFC, you're going to have to come to Soldier Field.
And for your Dell Direct game points, log on to CBSSportsline.com. Back in 1985, the Dolphins brought a Bears bid for an undefeated season to a screeching halt. 21 years later, the chance to do it again. Back to Chicago after this message and a word from your local station. quarterback Rex Grossman has been Superman this season. 11 touchdown passes, no interceptions. Defensive end Jason Taylor wants to provide the kryptonite as the Miami Dolphins take on unbeaten Chicago in high definition by Sony. Next.
CBS Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
The pre-game festivities now complete. We are set to kick it away. The Miami Dolphins have won the toss. They will receive and get their hands on the football first. Robbie Gould will kick it away for the Chicago Bears, who come into this game at 7-0. Wes Welker deep to receive for the Dolphins. You heard it all week long, no doubt. Back in '85, week 13, the Bears were undefeated until they ran into the Miami Dolphins. Dolphins would love to ruin things again right here today. This one taken at the 10-yard line by Welker. Can't find running room, and he's tripped up and goes down at about the 17-yard line. For the Dolphins on offense, needs a big day. Brown behind Harrington, and Harrington will throw on first down, far side of the field, and that is complete. Spinning and now out of bounds is Marty Booker with the reception. A check with the Bears 4-3 defense. It is fast. That includes tackle Tommy Harris, who went to the Pro Bowl as a rookie last year. He has 5 sacks. Brian Urlacher in the middle of the linebacking core, 25 tackles in the win over the 49ers. And the secondary has lost a terrific playmaker, Mike Brown, to injury. Third-year Florida product Todd Johnson starts in his place. 2nd and 7 for Harrington. Movement on the near side of the field.
Randy McMichael's going to plead that I reacted to a guy being in the
defense.
That's
Offside.
Right.
Number 93, 5-yard penalty remains. 2nd down.
That's the former Miami Dolphin, Wale Ogunleye.
Yeah, you saw Randy McMichael jump, but as an offensive player, if that guy's in the neutral zone and caused you to go, just like that, you're blameless as the offensive player. Good call by the officiating crew.
Guys on the line are big on blame, aren't they?
Well, you know, I'm telling you right now, these guys along the offensive line for the Miami Dolphins face a real uphill battle going against Lovie Smith's defensive football team. God, are these guys good.
2nd and 2. The give is to Brown. Brown looking for room on the left side and won't find it. Alex Brown, the defensive end, number 96.
And then some guy, number 54, probably won't hear his name much today. I think he's in on the end of this. Look at Urlacher flow. Stopped up right there at the line of scrimmage. Alex Brown, it's one thing to play the game at the line of scrimmage and not get blown off of it. This Chicago Bear front four, they like to play the game on your side of the football.
3rd and 4. Harrington steps up, throws, and that's complete. Out across the 30 is Randy McMichael, and enough for a first down.
Randy McMichael at the tight end position really wasn't getting a lot of action when Dante Culpepper was playing quarterback. But when the switch was made to Harrington, he's more of a tight end kind of guy. And you can see he's looking to the middle of the field. And this is, I think, even though it was back behind him, McMichael made a nice adjustment in coming back a little bit for the football. Moving the chains, little simple things, so critical for Miami.
Play fake. Harrington on the move and flips it incomplete, intended for McMichael. It'll be 2nd and 10. There is Nick Saban. Has not gone through anything quite like what he's gone through this year ever as a head coach.
Well, keep in mind, this is a guy that at no level anywhere along the way has he ever had a losing season. And this is strange territory for Nick Saban. And how he handles this, I think, will really define him for years to come.
Quick pass out here to the near side. That's Chris Chambers. Chambers out across the 35, and a penalty marker is down.
A good adjustment there, reading the Chicago blitz. Chambers altered his route, and Harrington recognized it and got him the ball. And we may get something tacked on to the end of this.
Our referee today is Pete Morelli.
Face mask. Number 33. Defense. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
It's the incidental face mask. See right there, Tillman has the hand on it, but then lets it go, although he kept it on there longer than most. He's, I think, in a way fortunate that that was only the 5-yard version and not the personal foul kind that gives you 15 yards and the automatic first down.
So the Dolphins have moved now to the 42-yard line and a first down. And Joey Harrington still working on communications from the sideline. Second and 1. Harrington going to throw for it. Going to go deep down the sideline. It is incomplete. In and out of the hands of Chris Chambers, who had a chance to make the catch and couldn't pull it in.
Well, he's forced to go up with just one hand because Charles Tillman really has awfully good coverage. Look at Tillman looking at the quarterback, looking at the ball the whole way. Only at the last second does he make the adjustment. Chambers did get a hand on it, brought it down, and it rolls right down his chest. Really close to being a completion, and really a perfectly thrown ball by Joey Harrington.
Third and 1. And Harrington going to keep it, move it straight forward, and does he have enough for the first down?
Oh, I think so. It looked like there was a pretty good surge. And Pete Morelli walks right up and signals first down, move the chain.
Harrington, 33 of 62 for 414 yards in the loss to Green Bay. When your quarterback has to throw 62 times a game, you're having problems.
Yes.
And jumping the gun is number 99, Tank Johnson. Let's see if he was drawn off.
Encroachment. Number 99, defense. 5-yard penalty remains. First down.
When we talked to Joey Harrington yesterday, he said, look, you know, I come in, at least I won't be staring around wondering where I am. There he is, against the Bears, his career, that kind of sticks out, the 4 touchdowns against 10 interceptions. But if you look at the bottom, he does have a winning record there at 4-3.
Dante Culpepper inactive today on the sideline. First and 5. Brown. Close to midfield, and that's about it.
And if the Miami quarterbacks have been having a problem, this is one of the big reasons why. Their inability to run the ball effectively. Boy, nothing's fooling Brian Urlacher there. He comes right up, takes on Geno James, fights through the block, goes to the outside shoulder, and goes through that shoulder to the ball carrier. Pretty much the way you draw it up.
It's an aggressive Chicago defense. They already have 3 penalties on them in this opening drive. Second and 3. Harrington throws out here, in and out of the hands of Chris Chambers. It should have been caught, but there were a number of Chicago Bears in the vicinity.
Yeah, trying to set up the quick screen, and you're right, even if he would have caught that, I think he would have had to break 3 Chicago tackles to have any hope of picking up 3 yards. Well, the last time in this situation, Harrington was able to find his tight end, Randy McMichael.
The 10th play of this Miami drive. Harrington pulls it down, buys time, far side of the field, overthrows his intended receiver. It was McMichael, covered by Todd Johnson, that will force the punt.
And that was one of the reasons that Nick Saban made the switch to Joey Harrington, was because of the mobility. Dante Culpepper back in that pocket wasn't able to move effectively when you consider that was really his calling card. Harrington got out, bought a little extra time, just couldn't make the completion.
Devin Hester, the leading punt returner in the National Football League, stands at his own 10-yard line, awaiting the kick from Donnie Jones. Gonna let it bounce. Bounces at the 2 and into the end zone. 10:46 to play, first quarter. The Bears go on offense for the first time today. Bears quarterback Rex Grossman gets his hands on the ball for the first time today. His 4th season out of Florida. 13 touchdown passes, more than 1,600 yards throwing so far this season. He starts from his own 20, and he'll throw. This side of the field, and that's complete to Bernard Berrien. Berrien wrestled down very close to a first down at the 30-yard line. On the offensive line, center Olin Kreutz, not only the anchor, Coach Lovie Smith says he is the unquestioned leader of this Bears team. The backs and the receivers, and that man Berrien having an outstanding year, averaging more than 18 yards a catch coming into the game. 10-yard pickup on that play, first down from their own 30 for Chicago. This is Thomas Jones, and Jones grabbed as he came across the line of scrimmage by Vonnie Holliday. The veteran 4-3 defense for the Dolphins is led by Jason Taylor, just half a sack shy of 100 in his great career. The linebackers, Spragan, Thomas, and Channing Crowder will try to make life difficult for fellow Florida alum Rex Grossman. The Dolphins not getting their share of turnovers this week. Jeremiah Bell promoted. He'll start at safety for Miami today. 2nd and 7. Jones again. And Jones again wrapped up right near the line of scrimmage. This time Kevin Carter, the 12-year veteran, also a Florida alum. Florida guys all over the place.
Yeah, they are. Well, Jason Taylor, number 99, he's a guy that really took offense this week to some members of the press saying, well, geez, what's it like to go play in a game where you really don't have any chance of winning? And he really took exception to that. And he wanted to remind everybody that these guys get paid too, the Miami Dolphins, and they have some pride, and they're not going to just roll over and play dead for the Bears.
Grossman on 3rd and 7, throwing to the far side of the field, incomplete. Nice play on the ball. Muhsin Muhammad, the intended receiver, and the rookie Jason Allen coming up to disrupt the play.
Well, Dolphins fans have been waiting a long time for their #1 draft choice, Jason Allen, to actually participate on plays out on the field other than special teams. That occurred last week for the first time, and that was really a nice play right there, although you heard the Bears crowd think that maybe he got there a little early and should have been flagged.
Brad Maynard will kick it away. Wes Welker is deep. And Welker with a chance to return this one from his own 15. And buried at the 25. Dante Wesley making the stop. We're back to Chicago after this.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of Super Bowl 41. The all-new CRV, it's something new to crave from Honda. And by Budweiser Select, brewed longer for a bold taste that finishes clean. Expect everything.
You caught a glimpse of part of the Chicago skyline on a magnificent Sunday afternoon here in Chicago. Just under 9 minutes to play. And the Dolphins with their second possession. Start at their own 25. Ronnie Brown trying the left side. Has running room across the 30 and out across the 40-yard line, and that'll be a first down for Miami. Want to remind you, don't miss a play, stat, or story with CBS Sportsline Sunday Game Center. Follow every game with lightning-fast scoring and play the hottest head-to-head trivia game on the web, Trivia Tower. It's all free at cbssportsline.com. Double tight end now for Harrington. And it's a reverse. Here comes Marty Booker around the left side, tripped up at the 35-yard line by Hunter Hillenmeyer. the outside linebacker. 8 minutes to play in the first. We check in with JV in New York.
Hey, Greg and Dan, what a wonderful story this Marcus Colson out of Hofstra, the 252nd pick of the draft, on the receiving end of this Drew Brees pass for his 7th touchdown reception of the season. Saints on top of Tampa Bay, 7-0. Back to Greg Gumbel and Dan Deerdorf.
All right, thanks, JV. And as you see, the Saints have already registered a win over the Tampa Bay Bucks. Here it's 2nd and 11 and 35. We give up the middle to about the 38-yard line is Ronnie Brown.
Well, you can see right now that Nick Saban and offensive coordinator Mike Mularkey are really going to try to establish Ronnie Brown in some sort of a running game. They want to shorten this game. They want to keep Rex Grossman and this explosive offense over on the sideline. And they would love to stay out of anything involving this 3rd and long, because this is where the Bears tear people apart.
Urlacher head up over the center. Harrington had it dropped by Sammy Morris. That had possibilities. Blockers ahead of him. How many times did Nick Saban in our conversation with him last night, Dan, say dropped passes, dropped passes?
And it's what teams that don't win, it's their mantra. They have 3 or 4 good things happen, then they have a bad thing happen that kills a drive. You have to punt the ball away. Those are the mistakes that winning teams just don't make on a regular basis.
Devin Hester has returned 2 punts for touchdowns already this season. He stands back at his own 15. He'll make the fair catch here as he's pushed all the way back to the 10. Nice kick by Donnie Jones. Bears start deep in their own territory when we come back. Talk about a guy who has been welcomed to the city of Chicago with open arms. Lovie Smith has done an outstanding job now in his 3rd year as the head coach of the Chicago Bears.
Well, that graphic will tell you why they love him. 17 out of 19 in this town will get you a lot of love.
A lot of love. Line of scrimmage, the 12-yard line of Chicago. And Grossman comes out throwing. And to throw it down the far sideline, has a man open and overthrew Justin Gage by about 3 yards. 2nd and 10.
Well, Justin Gage, you can see him right now. Nothing complicated here, just a simple fly pattern, just a little double move right there, and that bought him a yard. And that pass from Rex Grossman just about 3 feet too far. Pretty nifty little move by Gage. Bought him a yard or 2 separation. That could have been a really big play for Chicago.
2nd and 10. Thomas Jones tries the right side, pulls his way over the 15 to about the 17. Channing Crowder there for the stop.
Well, you talked about Rex Grossman and the kind of success that he has had. You have to keep in mind that I think today is what, his 15th start of a regular season football game. And even though he's in his 4th year because of the injuries, a broken ankle, a torn up knee, Rex Grossman still hasn't played an entire football season starting for the Chicago Bears. He still has a lot to learn, but boy, if he's got a lot to learn, then it's a little scary.
3rd and 6. Quick pass outside. That is complete. And Desmond Clark, the tight end, reaching for the first down, and he has it.
Well, this is called putting the ball right on the hands of your receiver. Right out in front. That's an all-hands grab. Oh, and now we've got an injured Chicago Bear on his way to the locker room. That's Dante Wesley, backup corner.
Meanwhile, first down, Bears from their own 24. Grossman with time, gonna throw it deep. This is Gage again. It is incomplete. We have a penalty marker back at the 50-yard line. Andre Goodman was covering.
Well, the first thing that went wrong for Miami is that they came on the blitz and the Bears handled it. They picked it up. And when they picked it up, it gave Grossman the time to go deep.
Illegal contact. Number 29, defense. 5-yard penalty automatic. First down.
Watch the left side of your screen. There comes the blitz, and it is picked up and handled by Peterson. And so that means that Grossman knows downfield he's going to get a little one-on-one going. And right there you could see the grab by Goodman as he reaches out. And he was really fortunate that that was called illegal contact instead of interference, because illegal contact is only a 5-yard penalty. It is an automatic first down, but the Dolphins got saved about 25 or 30 yards in field position there by the penalty being called illegal contact.
The Bears from their own 29. This is Thomas Jones, and Jones still on his feet to about the 34.
Well, we've seen, Greg, both of these quarterbacks have tried to go deep, and they're just a skosh away from having big plays for both teams.
You know, in talking with Jason Taylor last night, he has been upset this week at the approach, and says, quite frankly, he'd like to see a couple of his teammates as upset as he is too.
He said, I'm tired of being the one guy doing all the yelling. I could use some help, but he's an angry man.
Grossman blitzed, throws outside, caught and dropped, and it'll be an incomplete pass. Jason McKee out of the backfield. Jeremiah Bell in on the hit.
Again, Rex Grossman recognizing the blitz was coming. He had an unblocked Jason Taylor coming from the backside and had the presence and the blitz adjustment wherewithal to get rid of the football. Just a drop. We're going through one of those periods where we're seeing a lot of drop passes by every team in the league.
3rd and 5 from the 34. Quick drop this time, pass outside. That's complete for a first down to Rashid Davis. And the Bears move the chains out to their own 45.
Well, Miami had been winning the battle of field position, but now Chicago's starting to work their way out. But take a look at one more time at how the ball comes right to the hands of Rashid Davis. Look at that throw. Look at that throw from Grossman. Just perfectly placed. In stride, let your guy make a play and turn his shoulders upfield.
From the 45, the gives to Jones. Jones back to the line of scrimmage and not much more.
I think Rex Grossman likes the drive down to Soldier Field, getting ready to play a game. Look what he's done this year. 11 touchdowns, no interceptions, and a rating of 124.
That'll work.
That'll work. Of course, he's got a lot of help. Got a fine offensive line in front of him, and of course he's got the league's best defense and best special teams working when he's not out on the field. It's truly a team effort.
2nd and 10 with 2 tight ends. And this is Thomas Jones trying the near side. Cutback doesn't work. Keith Traylor followed the play down the line and made the stop.
Well, Jason Taylor turns this play back in. He's got the upfield responsibilities. Watch how he's going to do this. He's going to split through the double team right there, go upfield, and turn it back inside. That's exactly his responsibility. He doesn't make the tackle, but he sets up his teammates by doing the right thing and honoring his responsibilities.
And now the Bears looking at a 3rd and 8. Grossman needs the Miami 45 for a first down. Here comes the blitz. They handle it. He throws outside. It is caught. Rashid Davis on a perfectly thrown ball. It'll be first down Bears at the Miami 35.
Well, this offensive unit of Ron Turner's, boy, do they protect their quarterback. Again, Miami is going to try to bring pressure. There comes Zach Thomas off left guard. They bring 5. Look at the wall. Look at the pocket. Rex Grossman able to step right into it. And a mistake in the Miami secondary as they're playing their zone way too loose on Rashid Davis. But credit that blocking wall up front. Grossman in the rocking chair.
Grossman now calls the signals on the 10th play of this drive by the Bears. Here they come, the Dolphins again. And Jones trying to pop it to the outside, has running room inside the 30 to about the 28-yard line. Under 2 minutes to play here in the first. We go to JB in New York.
Hey, Greg and Dan, who would have thunk it that the league's leading rusher, Tiki Barber, on his 158th carry, takes it 16 yards for his first touchdown of the season. It's the Giants on top, 7-0 against Houston. Back to Greg and Dan.
JB, thank you. You know, Dan, you and I have said it before. We'll say it again. He's some distraction, isn't he?
That was a tempest in a teapot, wasn't it?
2nd and 3 for Chicago. Movement on the line. Markers fly. The give is to Jones. Can't find running room. And now let's check the penalty flag.
Oh, I think that's a 99-to-1 shot that the Dolphins were the guys in the neutral zone.
He was tackled by Kevin Carter.
That just looked like a good hard count by Grossman. Got him moving.
Offside. Number 95. Defense. 5-yard penalty remains. 2nd down.
Dan Wilkinson, the guilty party, as you look at Nick Saban, who has just been trying to put in a hard day's work every day and trying to work himself and his team through this rough start to the season.
As a coach, it's about the only thing you can do. You've got to be a beacon of consistency to your team. You can't show signs of panic. You can't show signs that you're how disappointed you really are. And you just have to be a teacher, and every day is a new teaching opportunity. And right now, Nick Saban is having to teach himself a little bit on how to handle this kind of adversity. Not used to it.
Bears now 1st down from the Miami 24. Grossman throwing, has his man. It is incomplete inside the 5-yard line. Will Allen covering Muhsin Muhammad, and we have a marker on the far side.
And it was going to involve the combo of Allen and Muhammad because the flag was thrown right there.
Holding. Number 25. Defense. 5-yard penalty, automatic. 1st down.
This is locked up all the way. Number 24. Well, you can see, yeah, you can't reach out and impede the receiver's progress. But Will Allen did what he had to do because he knew he got beat back to that move to the outside by Muhammad. That would have been an easy Chicago touchdown. Will Allen will say, well, I got whipped at the line of scrimmage. I did what I had to do to keep it from being 6.
So now it's a 1st down for Chicago at the Miami 19. Dolphins playing catch up in a hurry in the penalty department. Jones trying to turn the corner, and you lose yardage on the play as we check in once again with JB.
Hey, Greg and Dan, the much-maligned Washington defense with their starting 11 together for the first time pays dividends. Lamar Washington tackling Julius Jones in the end zone. It's a baseball score. Washington 5, Dallas nothing. Back to Greg and Dan.
Thanks, JB. Julius Jones there, Thomas Jones here. And a 2nd and 11, a loss of 1 on that last play. Grossman with time over the middle, incomplete. Muhsin Muhammad looked like coming out of his cut a little bit late.
Well, certainly Rex Grossman was throwing to a spot. He's expecting Muhammad to make a sharp break back to the middle of the field. He's hoping he gets lost in traffic there, but he gets rerouted a little bit by Zach Thomas and then stumbles a little bit, and instead of making a sharp break back to the inside, really rounded that off, slipped a little bit. Grossman luckily didn't throw it to somebody wearing a white shirt. That could have easily gone the other way.
3rd and 11. Grossman under pressure, got it away, has a man in the end zone, incomplete. Intended for Rashid Davis. Jeremiah Bell was there, and that will bring the field goal unit onto the field.
And Jeremiah Bell's coverage mandated that it be a perfect throw. It's going to be right in the middle of the field. Take a look at that. You see where he is coverage-wise. It's almost an impossible throw from Rex Grossman. That time, you just got to give credit to the defense. They played it pretty well.
And now the NFL's leading scorer, Robbie Gould, has not missed a kick this season. 23 out of 23 in extra points, 20 out of 20 in field goals. This one 38 yards out. And he's still perfect. 4 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Robbie Gould puts the Bears on top, 3-0.
You're watching the NFL on CBS, home of Super Bowl 41. The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Garmin. We'll take you there. And by the all-new 7-passenger Acura MDX. Acura. Advance.
Not a bad job by the Miami defense. Look at the drive and the time the Bears took off the board, and they had to settle for a 38-yard field goal and a 3-0 lead. 4 seconds to play here in the first quarter. Wes Welker stands at his own 2-yard line for the kick. From his own 5. Welker, 20. And hit hard, shy of the 25-yard line. That is the end of the first quarter. The Bears lead the Dolphins 3-0. Back to Chicago after this. You're watching the NFL on CBS, home of Super Bowl 41. He throws outside. It is caught.
The NFL on CBS.
Look at Millennium Park, part of a beautiful scenery on a beautiful day here in Chicago.
I love coming to Chicago. What a fantastic town. And there's a brave man.
Wearing a Miami jersey?
Yeah, wearing a Zach Thomas outfit here. It's got a front row seat to boot. Not bad.
A couple of competing 54s at middle linebacker as we get started in the second quarter. Harrington and the Dolphins from their own 24. Here comes the blitz. He got it away, far side, and that is complete just across the 30-yard line to Chris Chambers.
Well, one of the things that Nick Saban said about Joey Harrington when he made the transition from Culpepper was that the decisions will come quicker, the drops will be quicker, and the delivery of the football will happen a lot sooner. And certainly that is one of the things that we have seen. Joey Harrington, very decisive, gets rid of the ball in a hurry. It's just those 7 interceptions that have marred his performance.
The pitch for Ronnie Brown. Tries the left side, cuts inside a block, has a nice first down out across the 40 or close to the 40-yard line.
Well, you got the pitch, and then you got one of the big guys out front. Watch this. Here comes Damian McIntosh, number 70. A boom, ba boom, ba boom, but he gets a pretty good block out there on Vasher and keeps him going backwards. That was an old-fashioned play where you get one of the tackles out front running downfield. Good job, big fella.
First down, Miami now out to their 40-yard line. Harrington going to throw deep. Down the sideline, it is underthrown and incomplete, intended for Chris Chambers, but the ball was closer to cornerback Charles Tillman.
Underthrown, maybe by about 10 yards. Severely underthrown. I don't know if that ball just got away from Joey in the way he released it, but that ball was so underthrown that even the defender didn't have a play on it.
You know, talking about Joey Harrington, of course, subbing for Dante Culpepper, and Nick Saban made it clear last night, Dante is a day-to-day, week-to-week evaluation, and he's not going to play again until both sides are in agreement that he's 100%. 2nd and 10, Harrington this side, and that's complete to Justin Keel, but not much yardage on that play.
Well, here's a statistical comparison of the two guys. You see the Culpepper was getting hammered back in the pocket with these 21 sacks, but with Joey, it's the 7 interceptions, as I mentioned a minute ago, that has really been the big problem. Nick Saban telling us, I do not want to put Dante Culpepper on IR. That is not my plan. But at some point in time, if his rehab continues to be slow, as the weeks go on, it becomes more and more of an option, I think.
Meanwhile, Harrington looking at a 3rd and 8. Here come the Bears. He had to get rid of it. And the penalty marker goes down.
That's Ricky Manning Jr., number 24, pleading his case.
That never works.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, 24. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Well, let's see if it was because it was late or if it's a helmet to helmet. Manning coming right over right guard, Oh, he launches himself and strikes him with the hat. That's what drew the penalty. It wasn't late. That wasn't the case at all. It's the way that he went up with his helmet and actually led with his helmet that drew the flag for Morelli. Let's take one more look at it. Watch Manning. Watch his helmet right here. Watch how he kind of reaches out with it right there, and he semi-launches himself a little bit and strikes Harrington with the top of his helmet. That is a flag every time. The crowd here can boo as long and as hard as they want.
And they will.
And they will.
And they will.
But that'll get the call every time.
So now there is a discussion involving Pete Morelli and now a couple of other officials.
I don't know if they're trying to figure out where to spot the ball.
Right now, the ball sits at the Chicago 43. Well, Pete Morelli says just huddle up and let's go.
That motion he's making there is to reset the play clock to 25 seconds and gives everybody a chance to take a deep breath and start playing football again.
First down, Miami. The pitch for Ronnie Brown. Tries the right side. He's going to get wrapped up just inside the 45 by Charles Tillman. Loss of a yard or so on the play. It'll be 2nd and 11.
Tillman was there waiting for Ronnie Brown, but Greg, didn't it look like Brown could have cut back to the inside maybe a little quicker, a little more decisively than trying to come to a full stop? I know there's a lot of question marks about Ronnie Brown, the second player taken in the draft, as to whether or not he's delivered the big play potential. I guess those questions go unanswered for a while.
Brown, the only one in the backfield as Harrington looks to throw, and that's batted back into his face at the line of scrimmage.
I think Briggs got that one.
Lance Briggs with the bat down. We go to JB in New York.
Hey, Greg, trailing 10-0. Guess who Mike Vick's favorite target is? You guessed it, the tight end, Algie Crumpler. Of Vick's 11 touchdown tosses, 6 to that man right there. It's now 10-7, Detroit. Back to Greg Gumbel, Dan Deerdorf.
JB, thank you. You know, Mike Vick is having a tough time walking because there are a lot of guys jumping on his back recently.
This crowd acting like the turkey just got put on the table at Thanksgiving.
Pass out here. That's complete. Marty Booker. Booker inside the 40-yard line, but will be well short of a first down. Look at all the Bears around the ball, and now a marker flies.
Rex Hadnot, one of the offensive linemen, the center for Miami, he was in the midst of this. Came out of it looking upset.
And another conversation. That's what Pete Morelli says.
After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 66. Offense, 15-yard penalty. 4th down.
And Rex had not a reason to do what he did.
Well, it was well after the play was over. The Dolphins didn't convert. They didn't pick up the first down anyway, and they're well out of field goal range, so it probably would have been a punting situation anyway. It most certainly is a punting situation now.
Line of scrimmage moves all the way back across midfield and into Miami territory at the 47.
Let's see at the very end of it there. That's Rex Hadnot flying in. Yep. He picks off a guy. He takes Charles Tillman off the top of the pile. Way late.
Devin Hester deep. Fair catch called for, and he pulls it in. Lost the ball. Does Miami recover? Yes, they do.
Hester fumbled the punt.
Hester muffs the punt.
The Dolphins recovered.
And Miami gets the break they desperately needed. And actually, that penalty on had not worked out really well for the Dolphins, where they had room to fully punt the ball and air it out inside the Chicago 10.
And the Bears, with the #1 special teams unit in the NFL, turn the ball over and give the Dolphins a golden chance. Eddie Jackson with the recovery. First and goal from the 6. Ronnie Brown.
If you're the #1 defense in the National Football League, this is where you get an opportunity to strut your stuff.
One of the things the Bears and their followers take great pride in is the number of tacklers there are around the football at any given time. The Bears swarm to the ball.
Well, Lovie Smith, as a defensive coordinator, now as a head coach, it's all about one thing: running to the football. All 11 guys, not 5 or 6, 11 running to the ball.
Second and goal from the 5. Harrington on the quarterback draw, back to the line of scrimmage and no more. Tommy Harris tripped him up.
Well, the way you get beat by a quarterback draw is the defensive lineman running upfield, and in this situation, Tommy Harris stayed home. Tommy Harris did not run upfield. He did not run past Harrington. He stayed home.
Chicago's red zone defense. Third and goal from the 5. Harrington pulls it down. Now on the move. Throws. Touchdown. Marty Booker, the former Chicago Bear.
And they just totally lose track of Booker after Joey Harrington buys himself a couple extra seconds by moving around. Harrington makes this happen with this right here. That charge to the line of scrimmage, and then in the backfield, you find Todd Johnson and Vasher both lose track of Marty Booker. They're playing a zone, and they just let him sit down and lose it.
Olindo Mare's kick is good. So the Dolphins take advantage of the turnover by the Bears. Joey Harrington to Marty Booker, 7-3 Miami. The Bears trailing at home is not a familiar sight this season. Only 6.5 minutes that they trailed here at Soldier Field this season. And Evan Hester, who muffed that punt, is on the sideline now as Adrian Peterson goes in to return this kickoff for Chicago.
Rookies who put the ball on the ground go to the pine. It's an old football saying.
This is Peterson from the 7. And across the 20 to about the 23-yard line. 10:41 to play in the first half. The ex-Chicago Bear, Marty Booker, with a kiss to the crowd after his TD. A little different circumstance for the Chicago Bears and their fans. The first time they've trailed after the first quarter at home all season long. That's Justin Gage, who has replaced Bernard Berrien. We're told he has suffered a rib injury, and he is out of this game at the moment. Grossman intercepted to the 15, the 10, the 5. Jason Taylor with the Miami touchdown.
Jason Taylor, a defensive end by trade who spends a lot of his time with his hand on the ground, will also stand up. And that is where he is in this particular situation here. He's actually dropping off into coverage, and Rex Grossman, I'm only assuming, thought that he could lob it over the top of Jason Taylor and severely underestimated his reach at 6'6" and threw it right into his hands.
Olindo Mare's extra point is good. 10:32 to play in the first half. 14-3 Miami.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Chrysler. Inspiration comes standard. Wrangler, makers of Wrangler Jeans Company. New fits, new comfort, new styles. And by McDonald's.
Jason Taylor, his 6th career touchdown, his 5th career interception. Mare's kick. Adrian Peterson at the goal line. And hit hard, still on his feet. Lost the football. And back inside the 10-yard line, covering it for the Bears is Brendan Ian-Badejo.
And Ian-Badejo saves a sure Miami touchdown. He was the only Bear that had a shot at that football.
Hey, tomorrow on CBS, CSI Miami goes on its wildest ride yet. Don't miss a new episode of Monday's #1 show. CSI Miami tomorrow at 10/9 Central on CBS, America's #1 network. Cedric Benson in the backfield. First down, Chicago from their own 8-yard line. Benson gets the call, and Zach Thomas takes him head on. #1 team in special teams in the NFL is the Chicago Bears, but watch this play by the Dolphins.
Well, listen to this. A great job by Peterson of really fighting and trying to make something special happen. But it was on the second effort where he got stripped of the football by a great hit by Sammy Morris.
On 2nd and 8, once again, Thomas Jones, and Jones has running room across the 20 to the 22, and a first down for Chicago.
Well, here was the big play that resulted in that guy scoring for Miami. He starts off at a defensive end position. He's right there on the left of your screen. And take a look, he reads Muhammad going out in a pass pattern, stops what he's doing. Watch Jason Taylor here. He's going to see Muhammad leave right there. He fights back down the line of scrimmage, and inexplicably, Rex Grossman throws it right to him. I don't know how you miss it.
Grossman deep on first down. Incomplete. Will Allen covering on the far side. The intended receiver was Muhsin Muhammad.
And covering very well. That's a pass that had virtually no chance for completion. Will Allen doing a good job looking back into the backfield, trying to read the route, knows where he is, and he's got every right to go for that football. And Muhammad, he had no chance at making a catch.
2nd and 10. Thomas picked up on the blitz, and here comes Cedric Benson. Benson out to close to a first down just across the 30-yard line.
Well, Miami had the right thing called, sending Zach Thomas right to the point of attack. It's just that he gets picked up. He gets blocked by right guard Roberto Garza, and that springs the ball carrier into the second level. And Cedric Benson knows what to do when he gets there.
And we're going to get a first down measurement here. 8:49 to play in the first half.
One thing, Greg, I think it's become pretty apparent that the Miami Dolphins came to Soldier Field today with a bit of an attitude and a little chip on their shoulder and playing with a little anger about their record.
Well, Jason Taylor came in the angriest, and probably angered as much by members of what you would consider the Miami Dolphin fraternity. Former Dolphin Bob Kuechenberg.
I believe his
harsh
quote
words.
was, yeah, he said this team has no soul, and critical of Nick Saban, saying he should be impeached was his exact choice of words. That got some people riled.
This is Benson. And Benson out across the 40 as the Bears get the ground game going. Zach Thomas and Jeremiah Bell with the stop.
Well, this is some good work now by the Bears offensive line, starting to carve out some holes for their running backs. That's just good work and a nice cutback again by Benson, who's doing the heavy lifting on this drive. This offensive line of the Bears put together mostly in free agency. Olin Kreutz, the only guy that they drafted. The other guys free agents, and they're playing well.
Benson on 2nd and 1 has the first down. Zach Thomas coming up the middle for the stop.
Zach Thomas listed at 228 pounds. If he weighs 220, I'll be shocked. It's really hard for Zach to keep his weight up. This guy's been to 6 different Pro Bowls, and pound for pound, it's hard to get a lot more production. He's not a big guy by any stretch of the imagination. Urlacher on the other side, 6'4", 260.
Grossman to throw on first down. Has it knocked. Is that a loose ball? That looks like a fumble. And Miami says they have the ball, and they do. Jason Taylor again with a huge play on defense.
And Pete Morelli, the referee, standing right there looking at Rex Grossman. And Grossman wants to see a replay if his arm was going forward. We're going to get a good look at it right here. Coming from behind. Here comes Taylor. Nope, that is a fumble all the way. That ball is out of Rex Grossman's hand before the hand started to move forward.
And here comes Pete Morelli to the sideline to talk it over with Lovie Smith.
Well, I think Lovie's going to challenge us.
Chicago has challenged the ruling on the field that it was a forward pass, not a fumble.
I'd like to take one more look at it, but my initial reaction was that ball came out before Rex Grossman's hand started to move forward. One more look.
One of the keys, of course, the call on the field is that it is a fumble.
I think that is 100% football to the Miami Dolphins.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Prilosec OTC. 0 heartburn for 24 hours with 1 pill a day. And by Dell. Business solutions designed for one company in mind. Yours, Dell. Purely you.
7:12 to play in the first half. Pete Morelli is still reviewing this play.
It appeared, watch the right hand of Taylor. It's going to hit Grossman on the arm from behind. That dislodges the football, in my estimation, well before Rex Grossman starts to bring his hand forward. I don't know why Morelli is still under the...
He's out now.
Under the hood.
About to render the verdict.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field stands. Fumble. Chicago will be charged with timeout. Will you please set the game clock to 7:14?
Dan, there are people who talk and don't back it up. Jason Taylor, look at what he has done so far today.
The only thing he didn't do was fly the plane here and cook the pregame meal. He's doing everything else.
So the Bears take over at the Chicago 34, or the Dolphins, excuse me. Ronnie Brown in the backfield behind Harrington. He'll get the handoff. Oh, look at the blocking up front. Harrington only moves it about 2 yards, but had some pretty good action from his offensive line. Lance Briggs with the stop.
Greg, we've been to a few rodeos. We've done a few games. How would you describe the mood of this crowd right now here at Soldier Field? This is not what they were looking for.
A little quiet. A little quiet. And Lovie Smith takes great pride in the support that the Bears get from their fans here, but
I think they're in shock.
They're a little shocked. 2nd and 8. Harrington on the move. Now throws over the middle. That's complete to Brown. Brown inside the 10-yard line and down to about the 9 or 8.
And again, Joey Harrington, with his ability to move around the pocket, creates a little extra time that results in a big play for Miami. First of all, it's good blocking up front, but when he's forced to leave, that buys him enough time that he's able to get away and find, in this case, Ronnie Brown, who just makes himself a target about 3 yards downfield. Then the rest is Ronnie Brown.
24-yard pickup. 1st and goal, Miami at the Chicago 8. Harrington had to throw it away. And let's see.
Was he outside the pocket? The Bears are going to argue. I don't think he was outside the pocket. You got to get outside the pocket. And there comes the late flag, and I think that's right. You got to be outside the tackle box to get away with that throw. And Joey is saying I was.
Intentional grounding. Number 3. 10-yard penalty, loss of down.
Loss of down on the play.
Take a look. He's got to get, the ball was snapped close to the hash marks. Joey is going to move. He was still inside. He was about, I'd say, 1.5 yards or so from being what you would consider outside the box. The quarterback gets that protection. Yes, that's a good thing. But it's sometimes you got to give defense the credit for making a good play. And in that case, the Bears shut down that pocket, didn't let him out, and they deserve to get that call of intentional grounding.
So now the crowd comes to its feet. 2nd and goal from the 18. And flags fly as once again the Bears appear to be in the neutral zone.
Well, I don't. Briggs might have made contact.
Defense, encroachment, number 55. 5-yard penalty remains, 2nd down.
If you come across, you can get a chance to get back, but not if you make contact, not if you touch somebody. Right there in the middle of your screen, Lance Briggs, number 55. I think he actually touches the shoulder of Rex Hadnot, the center.
Five penalties on the Bears today, 3 of them offside. 2nd and goal now from the 13. Harrington throws. That's complete inside the 10 to Welker to the 5-yard line.
Again, look at this passing game that the Miami Dolphins here are using against the Bears. Joey Harrington, that time, I don't care if the guys up front were unblocked. You're not going to get to him before he gets rid of that football. And that is a smart way to approach this Chicago defense.
8-yard pickup on the play, excuse me, Dan. 3rd and goal now from the 5. Pass is intercepted. Intercepted by Alex Brown.
How did he hold on to that football? He's so close to the quarterback when Harrington threw that. How the heck do you hold on to it? Talk about your hands being made of Velcro. The velocity that that ball was thrown, how is that for some athleticism? And a great play by Alex Brown in the air, bats the ball, and then coming down has to straddle a Miami guy and still holds on to it. Pretty special.
Alex Brown with his 2nd interception of the season. And here comes Cedric Benson, and Benson run down shy of the 20-yard line.
Man, how many times do you see receivers 15 yards away from the quarterback can't handle the ball thrown with that kind of velocity? Imagine being about, what, 3 yards away? And that's what Alex, and then tripping on the way down, straddling. Damian McIntosh still has the wherewithal and the focus to hold on to the football.
2 picks this year for Alex Brown, 3 for his career. 2nd and 5 from the 19. Grossman on the screen to Thomas Jones. Left side, blockers in front of him, turns the corner and out of bounds, just short of 30-yard line.
Greg, that was such a good play. Let's look at that again. We'll watch it in regular speed. Our guys in the truck going to serve this up. I don't know what's going to happen in this football game, but if the Bears go on and win this game, that ball right there is the game ball that they need to paint up and give to Alex Brown.
First down Bears from their own 28. And the play fake. Grossman on the run. And they're going to throw it away. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Another good play by the Dolphins defensively. Rex Grossman finding absolutely nowhere to go with the football, even after getting out of the pocket.
How decisive is Lovie Smith? You know, he said he can't understand why there's any semblance of a quarterback controversy in Chicago. As long as Rex Grossman has been healthy, he's been my #1 quarterback.
And it's because he wins. He won at Florida. He wins here.
2nd and 10. Markers fly. Movement on the offensive line. Out across the 30 is Cedric Benson. And now let's check the flag. This looks like it'll go against Miami.
The flag on the play. Preliminary signal is offside against Miami.
Well, you could hear that hard count by Grossman clear up there.
Offside. Number 90. Defense. 5-yard penalty remains. 2nd down.
Listen to on Jeff Sganina.
Listen to the voice inflection. That's what we call a hard count. And as an offensive lineman, even though you know it's on 4, when that 3rd one comes as loud and as vocally as it came that time from Grossman, it's hard for the offensive guys to stay put, much less the defensive lineman.
On 2nd and 5 from the 33, Grossman. Gonna throw it up the seam, complete inside the 40 to the 35-yard line. Justin Gage with a 1st down.
Well, Justin Gage, the kid from the University of Missouri, getting a chance to really stretch his leg today because of the injury to Bernard Berrien. And again, awesome pass protection for Grossman and against double coverage, but both of the guys on the double coverage are too deep. You know, if you're going to double a guy, have one guy short, have one guy deep. Don't both guys get deeper than the receiver. That's making it way too easy. You know, there's such a thing as bracketing a receiver, and that was not it.
34-yard pickup, 1st down, Bears at the Miami 33, and this is Benson trying the left side to about the 30. Clock continues to move as we come up on 2.5 to play in the 1st half.
At the bottom is Zach Thomas.
Well, you don't expect to go into a football game where with 2.5 minutes left in the 1st half, we have 2 interceptions in this game, both by defensive ends. Next thing, we're going to have a guard return a kickoff for a touchdown.
Here are the Bears as we come up on 2 minutes with just 3 points on the board. Their average margin of victory this year, more than 3 touchdowns. Grossman under pressure, down the sideline, has a man. Oh, what a catch on the far side. Musa Muhammad for the touchdown.
Will Allen, I don't think he can believe it. I don't think he can believe that Musa Muhammad made this catch. First of all, it started up front. Zach Thomas comes on a blitz. It's picked up by the Bears front line. And then you got this going over here. Again, Will Allen and Muhammad. Allen sees the ball, has coverage. He doesn't play the football at the very end, and that's what cost him. Muhammad played the football. Allen was playing the receiver. Mistake.
Robbie Gould's kick is good. We reach the 2-minute warning. Musa Muhammad with a terrific catch, and the Bears getting a little hint of momentum as we head toward halftime. Miami's lead is down to 14-10. .157 to play in the 1st half. Musa Muhammad with his 3rd TD catch of the season.
Well, and how long has he been doing it? 11 years in this league. It didn't take Grossman very long to identify the matchup he wanted. Go to one of your playmakers, serve it up there, and let your guy make a play. And Muhammad certainly made a play.
Robbie Gould kicks it away. This is Wes Welker from the 9. 25, 30, and hit hard as he crossed the 30-yard line.
Whoa. That's an understatement. Hit hard.
22-yard return.
Would anybody in their right mind want to return kickoffs in the National Football League?
I'm assuming you had that option and passed on it.
I actually was in the wedge one time and it came to me and I just fell on it. I wanted no part of having guys be able to run 50 yards in full speed, take a shot at me. No, thank you.
From the 31. Miami with all of its timeouts remaining. And they'll start on the ground. Ronnie Brown, big hole up the middle. 40, 45, 47-yard line and a Miami first down. 16 yards on the play.
Well, that shocked the Bears. That took them by surprise. They didn't see that happening at all. And here's Miami playing with some urgency.
First down from the 47. And now timeout is called by the Bears as they use their second of 3. 1:29 to play in the half. A reminder, coming up, the Sprint halftime report back in New York with the usual suspects, JB, Dan, Shannon, and Boomer. They'll have the latest NFL scores and highlights coming up on the Sprint halftime report. Part of the Chicago faithful here at Soldier Field. 1:29 remaining in the first half. The Bears trying to keep the Dolphins from finding the scoreboard again before halftime. Harrington, quick pass. That's to Ronnie Brown. Brown across the Bears 45 to the 44. Clock continues to move.
And again, very decisive by Harrington, realizing the blitz coming from the outside and getting rid of it in a hurry in the middle.
Second and short. And we'll give it to Brown again. Brown hit hard at the line of scrimmage, trying to squeeze ahead for the first down, and doesn't look like he got there.
Well, I don't know if he got there or not, but that was some effort by Ronnie Brown. After getting tattooed at the line of scrimmage, or even a little behind it by Brian Urlacher. Watch this hit right here.
Timeout on the field, 51 seconds to play. All during that timeout, Dan, you were just bubbling over about Ronnie Brown's effort.
Well, that was an effort. That was a hit from Urlacher that would have sent most guys bouncing backward. Ronnie Brown kept fighting for another 4 or 5 seconds for a couple feet.
3rd and 1. The pitch to Brown. Around the outside, first down and more. 30, 25, inside the 25 to the 22-yard line.
Ooh, and he gets a block outside by Marty Booker, his wide receiver. Nick wants him to spike the ball. Watch here, coming in on the right-hand side. There's Marty Booker. He tied up the corner, and that bought Ronnie Brown a lot of extra time as Booker out there on Nathan Vasher.
Ronnie Brown, 11 carries for 61 yards. Nick Saban said nothing would be more important to his team today than being able to run the football. Sammy Morris in the lineup. 2nd and 10. Harrington throws outside, tipped, incomplete, intended for Morris.
Could the Bears possibly have had any more people on the line of scrimmage at the snap of the ball? Talk about showing blitz. They had everybody in a dark blue jersey lined up at the line of scrimmage. But again, Harrington made the right read. He just didn't make a very good throw. One of the few times today that he just didn't put his guys in a good enough position to make a play.
3rd and 10 from the 23. And the give is to Brown. Brown can't shake tackle. Penalty marker down on the near side, and this is going to be against the Bears.
I think they might have been in the neutral zone again. We saw a little flinch before the snap.
Offsides, number 93 defense. 5-yard penalty still, 3rd down.
It's Wale Ogunleye.
The former Miami Dolphin.
A lot of former Dolphins and former Bears on this field today.
Yeah, Marty Booker was traded for Ogunleye, plus a 3rd-round draft choice that the Dolphins turned into Channing Crowder. the linebacker from Florida.
There's Booker. Miami with 2 timeouts, the Bears with 1. 3rd and 5. The pitch to Ronnie Brown. Brown can't shake tacklers at the 20-yard line. Falls ahead. Lance Briggs, the first one to get to him. And here comes Olindo Mare.
Let the clock run down, so nothing else. This guaranteed to be the last play of the first half.
3 seconds to play. Field goal attempt when we come back. The Dolphins with a chance to regain some momentum here going into the locker room. Mare from 37 yards out, and now
Urlacher just called for another
timeout, Chicago.
We'll wait a little
30
longer.
second timeout,
We'll come back to Soldier Field after this. 3 seconds to play here in the first half. Olindo Mare will line this one up from 37 yards away. Kick is on its way, and no.
Did that get blocked? That either got blocked or that was the ugliest field goal I've seen Olindo Mare kick in a long time.
Here's Mare's attempt from 37 yards away. Might have just been low. 14-10 Miami. Sprint halftime report after this message and a word from the local station.
CBS Sports presents the Sprint Halftime Report. Sprint, together with Nextel. Power up.
And he pulls it in. Lost the ball. Does Miami recover?
Yes, they do.
Harrington pulls it down. Now on the move. Throws. Touchdown.
Harrington makes this happen.
Grossman intercepted. Jason Taylor with the Miami touchdown. Oh, what a catch on the far side. Musin Muhammad for the touchdown.
The NFL on CBS.
And welcome back to Soldier Field here in Chicago. Greg Gumbel along with Dan Deerdorf. Pretty evident as we look at a 14-10 Miami lead at the break that the story of this game is turnovers and the points that the other guys have gotten off those turnovers.
Absolutely. It's been very uncharacteristic for the Bears to turn the ball over the way they have. And it really, the second quarter was the quarter right there. We've got the muff on a punt that gives Miami field position. They convert with a Marty Booker touchdown right there from Harrington. And then Jason Taylor, right place, right time. Grossman throws it right to him. He runs it in. And then another Bears turnover. Taylor hits Grossman from behind. And that play by Alex Brown, just phenomenal. And it led to this touchdown, the completion of the drive, the touchdown pass to Muhammad. And that is just a bad attempt by Olindo Mare, driven very, very low, blocked at the line of scrimmage by a guy, Greg, that didn't even jump, didn't even get any penetration.
Yeah, Bears have home field advantage here, but they'd better find a way to put a leash on Jason Taylor in this second half because he's been making plays all over the field for Miami.
I think it's pretty apparent that this Miami Dolphins team did not come up here to play homecoming for the Chicago Bears. You know, they're on scholarship too, and I think that they're demonstrating a great deal of pride. As a matter of fact, when you watch them in the first 30 minutes, Greg, you got to the question begs, how the heck are they 1-6 if they're capable of playing this kind of football?
We mentioned it in the first half. We mentioned it again. Jason Taylor came in angry this week. He said, don't question my heart. And as far as he's concerned, too many people have been questioning that of the Dolphins. This is Rasheed Davis from the 7-yard line for Chicago. Trying to turn the corner, 20. And out to about the 24-25-yard line. Andre Goodman wrapped him up.
Well, the Bears last week and this week, that's just the first 30 minutes of play. Of course, that was against the San Francisco 49ers, who offered up no opposition whatsoever. But the turnovers, none last week and 3 already in the first half here today. But again, you take a look at the score of this game, it could be a whole lot worse. If it wasn't for Alex Brown, Miami might have made it 21-3 at that particular time if he didn't intercept that pass.
Grossman throws on the slant. He's got Justin Gage, and Gage lost the ball. Picked up by Miami with a page of blockers. Andre Goodman. Goodman inside the 15. Oh, what a turnaround for Miami.
The pass was complete to Justin Gage.
Saban told us last night one of his biggest problems, the team hasn't been getting turnovers. They've done that today.
And Lovie Smith, I don't think can believe his eyes. Perfect throw, Justin Gage trying to make a big play, but he gets hit hard by Jeremiah Bell. That knocks the ball loose. Watch coming in here from the left side. There's Bell, puts a right hand right on the ball and knocks it out.
From the 12-yard line, first down for Miami. Brown tiptoes his way up the middle to about the 10. Let's go back to the play.
Well, this was a first. Watch his right hand right on the football. And Justin Gage just did not have it pressed firmly enough against his forearm or his rib cage. And Jeremiah Bell smartly just pokes it out.
Jeremiah Bell, elevated to starter status this week, has made his presence felt. Second and 8 from the 10. Brown to about the 6. Alex Brown with the tackle on Ronnie Brown.
You know what, Mr. G, the Bears have been in this position before. They played that really bizarre game Monday night against the Arizona Cardinals a couple of weeks ago, where they had 6 turnovers in that game, and yet somehow came back to win it. So you know they have confidence going for them. But again, just sloppy football on the part of the Bears.
Third and 4 from the 6. Harrington out of the shotgun throws. That's complete. Touchdown. Wes Welker.
Well, if you're going to play a zone defense, what's the use of playing it all the way back in the end zone? I know that you want everything to happen in front of you, but this might be taking it to an extreme as you allow Wes Welker to stand at the 2-yard line and be unchallenged on his way into the end zone. It's sure nice that all the blue shirts were nice enough to sit back in the end zone and watch him score a touchdown.
Welker's first touchdown of the season. Harrington throws the pass, and Miami takes the lead. 21-10. Number 12 is Justin Gage, who fumbled the football. And the Dolphins have scored all 21 of their points off turnovers today and lead 21-10. This is Rashid Davis from the 7. Through the pigeons and out across the 35 to the 37-yard line.
Those pigeons had been setting up shop there for a while, and they weren't too happy about being uprooted.
You can tell they're deeply disturbed.
Yeah, scared them all the way up to midfield. Wow, talk about being oblivious to everything going on around you.
And they are still at midfield. First down, Bears. This is Thomas Jones. Jones tries the right side and not much running room there. I want to remind you, coming up tonight on 60 Minutes, Russell Crowe, known for his acting talent, his temper, and for speaking his mind, which is what he does on 60 Minutes, followed by new episodes of The Amazing Race, Cold Case, and Without a Trace. That's tonight on CBS, America's #1 network.
They're about 12 or 13 yards downfield.
Look, Dan, squab.
A nice skinny post pattern.
Grossman to throw on 2nd and 8. Going to throw this side of the field, has his man pulled in, and now ruled incomplete.
Yeah, the ball hit the ground. Muhammad. He had it to begin with. It looked like the ball touched the field when he did not have it firmly in control. We'll get a good look at it here.
Good throw by Grossman. This should have been a reception.
He goes up and gets it, and then he does not have control of the football. No, that's pretty open and shut. The officials right there, and they saw it.
And we talked about the problems the Dolphins have had with dropped passes. The Bears have had their share today. 3rd and 8. goes down. 7th time he's been sacked.
I think that was Kevin Carter.
Grossman was sacked by
David, was that David Bowens? It's cut the right side. Let's take a look at the right side. You're exactly right. That's 96, David Bowens, coming from Carter's position there at left end, and he just collapses. Bowens gets credit for that sack. Carter cleaned up on the inside.
Wes Welker, deep for Miami. From the 21. No running room. Goes down at about the 23 or 24-yard line. 12 minutes, 10 seconds to play, 3rd quarter. Miami on top of the undefeated Bears, 21-10.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of Super Bowl 41. Wendy's, get in the middle of flavor. Do Wendy's new Double Melt and do what tastes right. And by Toyota, moving forward.
Greg Gumbel, Dan Deerdorf back at Soldier Field in Chicago, where the Bears crowd a little bit stunned. 12-10 to play, 3rd quarter, plenty of time remaining. They just aren't used to looking up from a 21-10 deficit. First down, Miami from their own 24. And they'll go back to the ground game with Ronnie Brown. Brown, hole on the near side, 40, 45, and out of bounds at about midfield, just a yard shy. 25-yard pickup and a first down.
And then, as kind of an exclamation point at the end of this run, he just tramples Danielle Manning, the safety. Watch Ronnie Brown finish this run. Watch this. See you later. And then just steps on him going out of bounds. Talk about adding a little insult to injury. Ronnie Brown running with a little attitude.
90 yards total on the day. Brown again. Across midfield, spinning to about the 47-yard line. That's what Brian Urlacher does on defense.
He changed the defensive front. You couldn't see his feet, but he slid over a gap. One of the defensive linemen slid over to replace him. He's the quarterback on that side of the ball.
2nd and 6 from the 47. Ronnie Brown again. And Brown hit head on at about the 46-yard line by Ryan Urlacher. We check in with JB.
Hey, Greg and Dan, take a look here as Tony Romo of the Cowboys hooking up with Terrell Owens, a 4-yard strike. T.O., of course, nothing can be simple. He's got to go asleep on the ball. Dave Cabano, our cameraman, says, you know what, maybe that'll wake him up. I don't think so. 19-12, Dallas on top of Washington. Greg and Dan.
All right, JB, Cowboys have had good success of late against the Redskins. Meanwhile, Miami looking at a 3rd and 5.
You got to wonder if that'll be the last time we'll see Gibbs and Parcells going at it head-to-head.
Harrington over the middle. Oh, what a catch by Wes Welker.
The Bears are going to argue that he didn't catch it, but the officials are saying that he did. That's the fun part about football. Now we get to decide whether he did or not. Let's all take a look at this collectively.
I thought he caught it.
Whoa. You can have the ball touch the ground as long as it is firmly in your grasp in doing so. That ball came loose when it hit the ground.
And now Wes Welker trying to talk his coach into challenging, which Nick Saban does.
Yes, he is going to challenge that. Initially on the field, they ruled that it was a completion. They then got together and decided that it was an incomplete pass. And that is why. And I don't think that
Miami has challenged the ruling on the field that the pass was caught.
My guess is they're going to lose this.
Actually, the challenge is that it was caught. Well, Pete Morelli's still looking at it, and while he does that, here's what happened.
Right here, Greg, when the ball is going to hit the ground right there, Wes Welker does not have complete control of the football, and I think that makes it an incomplete pass.
Meanwhile, on the sideline, Wes Welker told his coach, I made the catch, and it looks like Nick Saban says, well, I challenged, so you better be right.
And I don't think Wes Welker is, and that's one of the problems when a player goes over trying to sell his coach. You better be 100% right. And I think Wes is a little nervous right
After
now.
reviewing the play, the ruling on the field stands. Incomplete pass. Miami will be charged with timeout. Please set the game clock to 10:14.
Now, in reality, the amount of time that Wes Welker did not have control of that football was a nanosecond, and maybe he didn't realize it, but I think that that is pretty clear, and Pete Morelli, under the hood, saw it pretty easily, I believe.
For the first time since he muffed a punt early in the second quarter, Devin Hester is back on the field to take a kick. Fair catch called for, and now he's going to let it bounce, and it takes a Chicago bounce. Out of bounds at about the 21 or 22-yard line. 10:06 to play in the third quarter.
You're watching the NFL on CBS, home of Super Bowl 41. The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Vonage, a better way to phone for less. And by AstraZeneca, makers of Nexium, the purple pill.
.10:06 to play, third quarter. Thomas Jones in the backfield. Grossman calling signal from his own 21 to give us to Jones. And Jones, not much yardage up the middle. While we have a moment, coming Tuesday, November the 14th to CBS, a new drama about the doctors who explore life's greatest mystery, the human brain. 3 pounds, Tuesday, November 14th, after the unit.
Look at the two 54s side by side, Thomas and Urlacher. We think that's a pretty good sign.
Yeah, I don't much care for signs in general, but that looks pretty good.
Pretty creative.
2nd and 8, Grossman to throw. And that one is complete. Shaking the tackler is Muhsin Muhammad. And Muhammad out to about the 35-yard line. That'll be a first down for Chicago. Pick up of 12 on the play.
And a good job recognizing the blitz by Grossman, and a good job by Muhammad of realizing, just sitting there, he had clearing, and then the missed tackle by Jeremiah Bell allows this to happen. But it all started with the quick recognition by Grossman of the blitz and the unloading of the ball.
First down, Bears, their own 35. Play fake. Grossman out here, complete to Jones. Jones across the 40 and out at about the 41-yard line.
One thing we've seen up to this point in time, we're talking about guys getting credit. Dom Capers, the defensive coordinator of the Dolphins, a guy who's been a head coach in this league for a long time. I think he gets a few props for this game plan. So far, Miami defensively has really been playing well.
Grossman with a 2nd and 4 now. Jones with blocking. Across the 45 to the 47, and another Chicago first down.
There's Big John Tate, the left tackle of the Bears, getting out front, leading this play. This was well executed at the point of attack. Take a look at this. Somebody's going to put Zach Thomas on the ground. Oh, yeah, right there. Jason McKee, the fullback, takes care of Thomas. Then Big John out front. We saw a little of that earlier by the Dolphins running that play, and that time it was the Bears' turn to execute.
There's John Tate, 5 years with Kansas City, his 3rd year with the Bears. Grossman now on first down. Jones straight ahead across midfield and into Miami territory. Look what the Houston Texans are up to. Back to New York and JB.
Greg and Dan, 18 plays, 80 yards. This is how the Houston Texans capped the play. That drive there, look at David Carr. No one open. Up and over for that 2-yard dive there. It's Houston on top of the Giants, 10-7. Back to Greg and Dan.
There's something you don't see every day, an 18-play drive.
2nd and 5. Here's Jones. Oh, look at the contact, and here's a penalty marker. Bears with a little celebration early here. Let's get the call.
Illegal use of the hands to the face. Number 94, the defense. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
That penalty is on Keith Traylor. At 6'2", 337 pounds in his 15th season.
I think you got to reiterate, 15th season. That is a long time to be waddling around in the trenches. That is a long time, folks. 37 years old in his sixth. Look at that. I mean, that is a long, long time. Of course, you know, Kevin Carter's in his 12th year. Jason Taylor's in his 10th. Scanina, backup defensive tackle, in his 14th. Nick likes he likes his defensive line with a little age on him.
Grossman, deep drop this time. Looking, and ends up throwing it away. 6:44 to play. Back to JB in New York.
Hey, Greg and Dan, take a look at this 10-play, 65-yard drive by the Packers, being capped with Brett Favre tossing to Donald Driver. 10-7 Buffalo. Hey, Greg, tell Dan I'm trying to move from a waddle to a walk myself. I'm working on it. Back to Greg and Dan.
JB, no worries. He's listening.
Hey, the only thing I tell you about waddling, it takes one to know one. And I got a pretty good waddle going myself.
2nd and 10, Bears at the Miami 42. Grossman out of the backfield is McKee. And McKee wrestled down inside the 40 at the 38. What's happening with those St. Louis Rams? JB, back to you.
Rams have narrowed the gap, Greg, as Mark Bulger caps this drive here, hooking up with Kevin Curtis. Little 2-yard in pattern there. 24-17. Bulger, 20 of 24, 226 yards, and a touch. Back to Greg Gumbel, Dan Deerdorf.
Well, what'll you know? Thank you very much,
Greg, you're better than that.
3rd and 5 from the 37. Grossman, here come the Dolphins, and this ball is picked off in the middle of the field. Jason Allen, the rookie, made the interception. And another Chicago turnover. 5:55 to play, 3rd quarter.
Here's Jeremiah Bell right here. He's going to come up and then come in on the blitz. And Rex Grossman is not able to step up. He's got a wide open Desmond Clark and just severely overthrows him because of poor footwork, not able to step into it. You can see that Clark was wide open. That ball was about 8 feet higher than Grossman wanted it to be.
Jason Allen, his first interception in the National Football League. First down from the 35. Harrington with time, gonna go deep. Incomplete, overthrown to Chris Chambers. Charles Tillman was covering.
Well, Joey found the matchup he wanted. He found single coverage. It's just now it was his turn to put a little too much air under the football.
You mentioned this in the first half during a timeout, Dan. We have seen these two quarterbacks try to stretch the field today more than you usually see.
Yeah, and they have misfired more often than not, although Grossman did have the nice touchdown pass to Muhsin Muhammad on a play down the sidelines. They've been taking their shots, but they've been a little bit off.
2nd and 10. To the far side. Quick pass to Derek Hagan, the rookie out of Arizona State.
Again, very quick, very rhythmic, high percentage passes by Joey Harrington. Gets him some valuable yardage, and more important than anything else, in this instance, keeping Miami out of that 3rd and long situation.
It's a good philosophy looking at a Chicago defense that's registered 21 sacks coming into the game, 20 of them by the defensive linemen. 3rd and 3. Harrington got his man. That is incomplete, and he overthrew Marty Booker.
Wow, that's twice out of 3 plays, Joey Harrington overthrows a guy that could have made a play downfield. Again, Marty Booker gets a good release inside Nathan Vasher, and that should be made. That should have been a completion. The safety wasn't a factor. Joey just overthrew him.
Devin Hester, deep for the Bears. Donnie Jones just barely got that one away. Hester from his 15. And wrapped up at about the 25-yard line by a bevy of Miami Dolphins led by Eddie Jackson. 43-yard punt, 11-yard return, 5:06 to play in the third. Miami 21-10. Throw. Matt.
.com/superad.
Coming up next, Jake Plummer and the Broncos against Hines Ward and the Steelers, or the Cleveland Browns and the San Diego Chargers. Check your local listings. It's next here on CBS. Well, last year's AFC Championship game, Jake Plummer was roughed up by the Pittsburgh defense. Plummer sacked 3 times, intercepted twice, faced an awful lot of pressure throughout the game. He'll be looking to eke out a little revenge as the Broncos tangle with the Steelers in a crucial matchup, especially for the defending Super Bowl champions.
No kidding. There is Ben Roethlisberger so far this season. Take a look at that. Almost twice as many interceptions as touchdowns. He's already suffered a concussion this year, and we all know the appendectomy early in the season, the motorcycle accident over the summer. Any way you look at it, the defending champs are on the ropes with only 2 wins so far this season. A loss this weekend, you'd have to say it's over.
Meanwhile, Rex Grossman on the sideline, Jason Taylor on the field.
An observation here, Greg. Every game in the NFL is hard hitting. This is more than most. This has been an extremely hard hitting football game on both sides. They are taking some shots.
On first down, the give is to Thomas Jones, and Jones hit hard at the line of scrimmage, out to about the 27. Channing Crowder, Jeremiah Bell. Talking to Jason Taylor last night, he had just returned from having dinner with Brian Urlacher.
They're very good friends, and they take turns doing a lot of charitable work for each other. Jason said Brian comes to a couple of my events. I go to a couple of his, and Jason was exceptionally pleased last night that Brian picked up the tab. And Jason said, I even got some food to go. I really put it to him.
From the 27, with Grossman to throw. And that is picked off by Rashid Davis. Nice catch with the hands across the 30 to about the 33.
Well, especially, you know, on that pattern as a wide receiver, there's something waiting for you on the other end, and it's not a handshake. That is a beautiful job of a wide receiver going out there, really exposing his ribs and reaching for that football, and he did it anyway. You see a lot of alligator arms in that situation.
Rib injury in the first half is what has Bernard Berrien sidelined here in the second half. That pass is complete to Rashid Davis, but quick on the hit is Will Allen. 5 years a New York Giant in his first season with the Miami Dolphins.
Let's see the exact spot. Rex is trying to see exactly how short a distance is it. Short enough they're going to bring out the chains.
.343 to play in the third. Decision time for Lovie Smith.
About a foot, it looked like.
And onto the field comes the punter, Brad Maynard.
A decision made all the easier when you have the #1 defense in the National Football League. You don't put them in a compromising position, not in the third quarter.
Wes Welker Miami.
Welker back at his own 22-yard line for the kick from Maynard. Gets it away. Welker, fair catch called for, and makes it at the 15-yard line. Bears losing at home is an unusual thing. They've won their last 10 here. Their last home loss to Cincinnati week 3 of last season. Kyle Orton threw 5 interceptions. Chad Johnson had a big day, scoring 2 touchdowns, 77 yards receiving. Orton had a 14.7 passer rating in that contest, but I think we can all agree Kyle Orton accounted well for himself over the course of last year on in relief.
You take a look at the Bears in their quarterback situation. They got Rex Grossman, Brian Griese, and Kyle Orton. They've got 3 guys that can play in this league and play well.
From the 16-yard line now, Joey Harrington calling signals. And this is Brown, and that's going nowhere.
Well, it's always fun to watch both these middle linebackers, but Brian Urlacher, you can see he just runs inside the attempted block by Darian Barnes and said, well, this is too easy. You know, a lot of times as a middle linebacker, you make that decision and you duck under a guy and the play bounces outside of you, you can look silly.
The initial hit on that play coming from Mark Anderson, and what an outstanding rookie he's been for Lovie Smith this season. 2nd and 11. Again, tucks inside and across the 20 to about the 23.
I think that run we just saw out of Ronnie Brown, pretty indicative, Greg, of the way the Dolphins are playing this game today. It is 1st, 2nd, and a lot of times 3rd efforts. They are scratching and clawing for every inch of this field.
How about Ronnie Brown? 19 carries now, 101 yards as Miami looks at 3rd and 4th.
But again, a manageable 3rd down. Staying away from that 3rd and 8, 9, or 10.
Bears haven't allowed a 100-yard rusher here since Edgerrin James. Harrington on the move. Throws. Intercepted. Intercepted at the 25-yard line by Nathan Vasher.
And there's that play that Joey Harrington will make, that Nick Saban said sometimes you just don't know where it came from. You don't force the ball at this place on the field to a guy that's pretty well covered. You just don't make that throw. The risk reward is just way too great.
Vasher's first interception this season, 14th of his career. From the 23-yard line. 1st down for Chicago. Jones to the 20. You know, we even heard it from Joey Harrington at the very top of the day where he said sometimes it's best just to take what you're given and then kick the ball away.
That's exactly what he said. He said it's not the end of the world to have a series that concludes with a punt. And in this situation, that's certainly more desirable than to what he has now, and that's his 2nd interception of the day.
2 TDs, 2 interceptions. It's either been chicken or feathers for Joey Harrington. We're in the final minute 22 of the 3rd quarter. Grossman running out of time, throws it, incomplete. Channing Crowder. One Florida Gator in on another, Rex Grossman.
Again, Grossman under pressure, and he's not able to step into this. Making the decision at the last moment which direction he's going to go. In reality, he just threw that ball away and got away with it because he was still in the pocket as well.
3rd and 7. Quick pass, incomplete. to the near side, intended for Justin Gage. Remember, Justin Gage getting some extra playing time here in the absence of Bernard Berrien.
And I don't think Gage was where Grossman thought he was going to be. I think Rex Grossman was throwing that to a spot, and Justin Gage had gone a little farther downfield than Grossman anticipated.
So Robbie Gould comes on.
The perfect Robbie Gould, right?
21 out of 21. He's made 23 in a row. 21 out of 21 this year. This from 38 yards out. Kick on the way and perfect. 62 seconds to play in the third quarter.
And a one-possession game now for Chicago if they were to get a touchdown and a successful two-point conversion. And we get a chance to listen to one of the great fight songs of all time. You grew up, you knew the words to this.
Backwards and forwards. Solid goal indeed. Robbie Gould, 24 straight field goals now. Ties a Bears record held by Kevin Butler. 24 in a row.
You grew up a die-hard Bears fan. I don't think the Dolphins will hold that against you.
Actually,
we all grew up
early on, I was a little bit of a Chicago Cardinals fan.
Were you really? Oh, you're just saying that.
No.
Really?
Well, you know,
they then became the St. Louis Cardinals. And
look, it's very simple. The Chicago Cardinals played in the home of the Chicago White Sox, and that's the reason why.
They played at Comiskey, right?
Yes. Wes Welker deep for the kick. Welker from the 6. 20. Out to about the 28-yard line before a bevy of Bears buries him.
Virginia McCaskey, who is the daughter of the legendary George Halas, the matriarch of this Bears organization. And wow, if you love the game of football, when you're in the presence of a Halas, you're in the presence of greatness. You almost feel like it's royalty.
George Halas was always just a remarkably fun interview. First down now, Miami. Pass out to the far side. Oh, look at the catch made by Chris Chambers, and Chambers out of bounds across the 30-yard line, close to the 35.
Are you kidding me? How about that? The ball is high and outside, and doing a little pirouette, Chris Chambers snags it with one hand.
First thing I thought, Dan, was lateral, backwards pass, perhaps.
The ball gets tipped. I didn't see that when it happened. The ball actually got tipped. That made the concentration by Chambers even better.
2nd and 5 from the 33. Brown. Out to the 37, and we're in the final 20 seconds of the third quarter.
This Miami offensive line has really been beaten up. They have not performed well. We saw all the sacks that Dante Culpepper had early in the season. This group has come to Soldier Field today, and at least through the first 3 quarters, Greg, played really, really well.
Clock winds down on us. We're at the end of 3. Miami leading the Bears, 21-13. Back to Chicago after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS, the home of Super Bowl 41. That's complete. Touchdown. Wes Welker. Dolphins, and this ball is picked off in the middle of the field. Jason Allen, the rookie, made the interception. A look at Navy Pier, one of the great landmarks of a great city. 15 minutes to play at Soldier Field. The Bears unbeaten in 7 starts this season. 3rd and 1 for Miami. Brown looking for a first down, and he got it across the 40, close to the 41-yard line.
Did you see Ronnie Brown's legs just dig? Man, this guy is running like I haven't seen him run all year. And that was nothing but power football. Just going to follow his fullback, Barnes, right into the hole. Nothing fancy. Here we come. Can you stop it? But look at his leg drive. Look at him still go.
21 carries, 109 yards. Harrington to throw. Oh, nice catch over the middle. Chris Chambers, and that's another Miami first down at the Chicago 41.
Well, Chris Chambers putting on a little human highlight reel here on this drive. Already had the one-handed snag. Here's the two-handed snatch out of midair. And look how quickly he brought that ball back into his body to protect both himself and the ball.
We are standing by for the three-handed catch. From the 41.
Let me know when that one's coming, will ya?
Brown. Back to the line of scrimmage and not much more. Maybe 2 yards. Lance Briggs, Brian Urlacher with the stop.
But even though it was only a couple of yards, Nick Saban realizes one thing. That clock just keeps ticking, ticking, ticking.
And not nearly fast enough to suit the visiting coach.
No, well, that's a problem. You can't start clock watching because when you're on that visitor sideline and you've got a lead, you start looking at that clock, sometimes you swear it's going backwards.
2nd and 8 from the 39. Harrington throws far side, and that is incomplete.
And that's another risky pass by Joey Harrington. A whole lot of people around that thing wearing blue shirts. Trying to get it to Chambers, but Tillman was right there. You know, again, risk and reward. If you complete this, it's good for about 2 feet. But look at the guy right there. What's the use? There's no upside to even completing that pass.
Harrington needs the 31 for a first down.
And here's the 3rd and long that they've been avoiding here recently.
Harrington to Morris, and Morris leveled by Urlacher.
Well, Wally Agunleye screwed it up to begin with. He was the guy that was right there. He altered the path of that play and served it up for his teammate Urlacher. But that's how you finish.
Devin Hester back to his own 10-yard line. Hester has punt returns this season of 84 yards against Green Bay, 83 yards against Arizona.
And they were trailing Arizona when he did it. It actually won the game for them in that Monday nighter.
Penalty marker is down as Jones gets this one away. Hester with a risky grab at the 10, lost the football, picked up by Miami. Miami appeared to be on the ball first. Remember, there is a flag down back upfield.
It's hard to describe what's going on down there right now. You've never been there.
Now, let's check the marker.
It's being explained to Pete Morelli right now.
On the play.
Nick Saban, that was the face of a guy looking for a break.
Illegal formation. Kicking change. 5-yard penalty, repeat. 4th down.
And he didn't get it.
Dan, this is week 9 of the season. Have we seen that on a punting situation this season at all?
Not that I can recall.
Nor I. Illegal formation on the punt.
They must have had some of the guys that are supposed to be on the line of scrimmage too far back. Let's take a look. You see these guys out here. You see this guy here. That guy. They have to be up on the line of scrimmage, the same place an offensive tackle would be. You got to be. Your helmet has to be up on the hip of that center. They were at least a yard farther back. That's an illegal formation.
So Hester will try it again. this one he will let bounce. And a nice job by the Dolphins special teams unit to keep that ball down close to the goal line. Welcome back to Soldier Field in Chicago. 11:54 to play in regulation, and there is Devin Hester, who has had his problems today. One muffed punt, fumble that didn't go against him.
His personal confidence has to be a little rattled. I'd have to say that his head coach has little or no confidence left in him at all.
Bears start from their own 1. Cedric Benson in the backfield, a deep back behind Grossman. And that's not going to help the Miami cause at all unless he was pulled off.
Encroachment, 94, defense. 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
Nick Saban couldn't ask for anything more than have these guys starting at their own 1.
And now they get a little breathing room, but you got to give a little credit to Rex Grossman because he's been using his cadence. Getting a good look there at Brandon McGowan, a defensive back, leaving the field. He doesn't have a shoe on either foot.
So 1st and 5 now. And Benson for a couple.
The point I was going to make before we saw McGowan leaving was give Grossman a little credit. He's got a hard count that's really good. He's got these Miami defensive linemen a little jittery, a little off balance, and he's got he's using that change in voice, that change of voice inflection really well. We saw that quarterback rating in the 4th quarter this year for Rex Grossman of 26.
Let's give a listen to Rex at the line. The give is to Benson.
He never got a chance to turn upfield at all.
21-13 Miami here. Back to JB in New York.
Hey, Greg, take a look here as the Giants were trailing 10-7. They go back up on top here. Play action. Eli hooking up with Jeremy Shockey. 12th consecutive game that Eli has tossed a touchdown. 14-10. Giants 3:15 left in regulation. Back to Greg and Dan.
Giants, bit of a dogfight.
Boy, that's when you know it's been a hard-hitting game. He knocked off the top half of his seat.
Oh, what a head knocker. Grossman to throw. Has time. Out here. His receiver slipped, and it's incomplete. 81 Rasheed Davis slipped coming out of his cut. And the punting unit will come on.
And right now, this Chicago passing game is really missing Bernard Berrien. What was it, a rib injury in the first half that cost him?
Here's Wes Welker back at his own 45.
Ooh, and you like your punt returner standing at the 45.
And on the offensive line.
Well, the Bears are hoping this is against Miami because this would be good for a first down. It's less than 5 yards to go for a first down.
You know, Nick Saban is just going to shoot himself.
Well, this would be a boneheaded penalty of all time. That's Keith Armstrong, the special teams
Defense, neutral zone infraction, number 96. 5-yard penalty, result of the play, first down.
Oh, David Bowens, go find someplace at the end of the bench. I don't think a my bad's going to cover this. Whoa. Oh, what a freebie for the Bears.
So the line of scrimmage moves now to the 14-yard line where it's first down, Chicago. Grossman throws. And reading that perfectly was Andre Goodman and broke it up. And came close to picking it.
Well, that's called jumping the route. Andre Goodman, seeing that coming all the way, takes the inside position. Almost had the pick. David Bowens is going, oh, please just Give me a chance to go back out there on the punt return team one more time.
On 2nd and 10. Grossman hit as he let go, and it's incomplete over the middle. It'll be 3rd and 10. That's 5 straight incomplete passes by Grossman.
Boy, talk about taking a hit right in the chops. Channing Crowder. Was that a helmet to helmet? Did he hit? Let's see how he... Let's take a look at this. He did a good job of getting his hands on both shoulders of Rex Grossman. See, he didn't launch himself, and that's why there wasn't a penalty.
3rd and 10. Grossman throws. That is intercepted. Ronaldo Hill inside the 25 to the 24-yard line. Another turnover by Chicago.
Rex Grossman again didn't look like he stepped into that football. Did he throw this off his back foot again? Let's watch his feet. Take a look at his setup. And look, he doesn't step into it at all. That's really throwing off. That is not stepping into a throw at all. The ball just sails on him. Something that was really poor technique by the Chicago quarterback. Step into it, drive into this throw. That's actually just stationary, all arm, and he got a floater out of it.
6 turnovers by the Bears today. Harrington gonna throw. It is caught for a touchdown. Chris Chambers.
When Joey Harrington let that ball go, I thought it was going to be intercepted. I thought he threw right into coverage, and instead his guy, Chris Chambers, the best receiver for the Dolphins, makes a play. I thought right there that ball was going to get intercepted, and 2 guys are fighting for it, Tillman and Chambers wins.
The extra point is good. 10 minutes to play in the 4th quarter. Miami doing serious damage to the Chicago Bears' hopes of remaining undefeated. At the start of the day, Rex Grossman had thrown 11 touchdown passes here at Soldier Field without an interception. Today, 1 TD, 3 picks. From their own 25. The give is to Thomas Jones, and Jones across the 30 and out close to the 35 and close to a first down.
Well, right now for Miami Dolphins, when you're 1-6, the reason you're 1-6 is that you haven't learned yet how to finish games, how when you're up to hold the lead, and right now that's going to be interesting to see if Nick Saban's team can close the deal, because right now the deal is certainly in their favor.
On 2nd and 1, and being wrapped up in the backfield is Thomas Jones by Jason Taylor. Welcome to those of you joining us here in Soldier Field in Chicago. Greg Gumbel along with Dan Deerdorf. The Miami Dolphins have been opportunistic. The Bears coming in unbeaten, but have turned the ball over 6 times. Rex Grossman has thrown 3 interceptions, and the Miami Dolphins have capitalized, and they lead at 28-13. Plenty of time remaining. 3rd and 2. Grossman throws over the middle, and that's complete to Desmond Clark, the tight end, and that's enough for a first down. I believe that ball got tipped on the way.
Rex Grossman trying to get his guys in and out of the huddle. He had them hurry up and getting to the huddle. Now they're in the huddle, and they're taking their time.
Clock continues to move. 8:15 to play. Grossman throwing near side of the field, incomplete. Intended for Muhsin Muhammad, who has scored the only Chicago touchdown of the day. 2nd and 10.
2nd and 10 for the Bears.
For those of you joining us, the Bears early in this game lost their big play wide receiver, Bernard Berrien. He was injured in the first half of play, and he has almost a 19-yard per catch reception average. And right about now, you could use every big play you got if you're wearing a blue jersey.
On 2nd and 10, they give us to Jones right up the middle, spinning across midfield and into Miami territory to the 48.
And Jason Taylor makes that tackle, and he looks like he's a little bit sore getting up. And to this point in time, I don't know how you can play a much better football game than 99 has played. And it looks like he's got to go to the Miami bench.
He has been outstanding today. Despite the tackles, a sack, a forced fumble, an interception.
And the interception he returned for a touchdown.
3rd and 4 now. Grossman throws, and that is almost picked off by Jeremiah Bell.
And right about now, these Miami safeties are sitting on every inside slant pattern that the Bears are trying to run. Bell is all the way to the inside on Desmond Clark, the tight end. And luckily, that wasn't intercepted.
And no sign of the punting unit on 4th down and 4. As Jason Taylor remains on the sideline. Grossman, one for his last 9, throwing the football. He needs the 44-yard line for a first down. That movement up front, and again, this one is Vonnie Holliday, and Nick Saban is going to have a fit.
Well, I don't blame him.
Encroachment, number 91, defense, 5-yard penalty, result of the play, first down.
There have been times that the Dolphins have been trying to gift wrap this thing for the Bears, but the Bears have been a little quicker in the gift wrapping process.
Well, within the last 5 minutes, we saw David Bowens, a defensive lineman, jump offside on a punt that gave Chicago a first down. And now we see on a 4th down again a Miami mistake that just automatically keeps it alive for Chicago. Again, can you learn to close the deal?
From the 43, Grossman to throw. And that one is complete to Jones out of the backfield inside the 40 to the 38. Zach Thomas made the tackle.
And still the Bears go to the huddle. They've got plenty of time in this football game.
Jason Taylor back onto the field for the Dolphins.
They're 2 scores away, but one of those scores has to include a 2-point conversion.
On 2nd and 5, Jones. Jones hit at the 36, spins forward close to the 35. Channing Crowder with the tackle. We are under 7 minutes to play. The Bears, number 1 in the NFL, total offense, number 1 defense, number 1 special teams, unbeaten in 7 starts this season. Looking at a 3rd and 2. Grossman, pump fake, and is buried back at the 45-yard line. Kevin Carter, along with Will Allen.
And that sack destroyed any chance at a field goal. They're going to have to. They're going to have to try to convert. That's way, way out of field goal range.
That's the 3rd sack of Grossman today. Welcome to Chicago, everyone. Those of you joining us, the Chicago Bears trailing 28-13, looking at a 4th and 9. Grossman, with time, throws over the middle, incomplete, overthrew his intended receiver. And the ball will go over to Miami on downs. 5:53 to play. The Dolphins trying to put an end to this undefeated season of the Bears.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Phillips. Simplicity is Phillips. And by Honda, the company that defines performance in motorcycles, ATVs, personal watercraft, and scooters.
Five minutes, 53 seconds to play in the 4th quarter. Dan, you've talked about the Dolphins unable to close the deal all season long, and it's a little early to anticipate victory now. Penalty marker is down as the give is to Ronnie Brown. And we welcome those of you joining us here at Soldier Field in Chicago. 28-13, Miami leading the undefeated Bears.
Defense, number 91, offside, lined up in the neutral zone, 5-yard penalty.
And 10 straight home winning streak is now on the line for the Bears. They've turned the ball over 6 times, and Miami has capitalized. All 28 of their points coming off of turnovers.
And there's another Chicago mistake that doesn't help the cause. Tommy Harris lined up offside, so that automatically makes it a whole lot easier for Miami to move the flags.
Now, don't make the mistake that these Bears were looking ahead or had thoughts of an undefeated season. Lovie Smith doesn't allow that.
No, you cannot give enough credit to the way the Dolphins have played today.
1st and 5. Brown. Just across the 45 to the 47.
But it has been turnovers have been the keys. It started off with the rookie Hester muffing a punt that led to a Miami touchdown. Then Jason Taylor ran an interception. Taylor created a fumble that was recovered by Miami. Then Justin Gage on a reception. He fumbles it and it's scooped up by Miami. Then it's an interception by the rookie Jason Allen. And then finally Ronaldo Hill comes in. And it has just been an ugly offensive day for the Chicago Bears and Rex Grossman. And that guy you just saw, Jason Taylor, has been brilliant.
2nd and 5. Brown looking for running room and finds it across midfield, very close to a 1st down. Clock continues to run, 4.5 minutes to play.
"28 points Miami has scored today off of those 6 Chicago turnovers. And while you're handing out props, another guy that the Bears have had trouble dealing with today has been Ronnie Brown, who has run for over 100 yards today.
Just a little short. Boy, Bears repeating too that no one came into this game today angrier than Jason Taylor. Upset at the way his team had been questioned all week long. Pretty much a given that they wouldn't stand a chance against the Chicago Bears, especially in their home environment. And Jason Taylor said, no one questions my heart, and he's come out here and played like it.
He had a good line. He said, it's totally unfair, I think, to say that it'll be a miracle if we go up and beat Chicago. I think he was making the point that, we're on scholarship too. We're paid. We're professionals.
Bears have used the timeout here.
But it's hard to hide the fact you're 1-6. That, unfortunately, that gets to town before you do.
Well, we mentioned it earlier. It bears repeating. Back in 1985, Week 13, the Bears went into Miami undefeated, but then were soundly beaten by Dan Marino and the Dolphins in what would be the Bears' only loss of their Super Bowl season. Marino threw for 270 yards and 3 touchdowns and picked apart a Bears defense many thought had absolutely no flaws as Miami won 38-24. Dan is listening back in the studio, so I'll say it again. 3 touchdowns, 270 yards.
I'm sure he just turned to Boomer and said, hey, what do you think of that?
It has not been a stellar day for Rex Grossman. He was telling us yesterday he's had some times when he's completed passes that he thought he shouldn't have. He thought it was a good pass at the time, but then he goes back and he watches it on film. He shouldn't have thrown it. He was off balance when he threw it, and he's thrown a couple of those today.
Well, he got away with a really horrible game out in Arizona where he had 4 interceptions and lost 2 fumbles. Well, because of 2 defensive scores and a punt return for a touchdown, somehow miraculously they came out of there with a win. I don't think you can count on having those kind of days and coming away with wins very often.
Grossman 15 of 35 for 185 yards and a touchdown and 3 picks today. Meanwhile, 3rd and inches for the Dolphins. Harrington going to keep it and sneak for the 1st down.
I don't think there's any question that he got it, but we have, again, there aren't many offensive lines in the NFL that have been as maligned as this group from Miami. They made a switch a couple weeks ago where Damian McIntosh right there, you see, he was the right guard. He moved out to left tackle. L.J. Shelton, who was the left tackle, he flopped in and became the right guard. Geno James, Rex Hadnot, Vernon Carey, they have played a real football game here today against a brilliant defense.
And with that first down, the Soldier Field faithful are beginning to drift to the exit. Harrington, the pitch for Brown. Brown with running room, and there he goes. Up the sideline to the 20, pulled down at around the 15-yard line. Danielle Manning saved the touchdown.
Well, you made that call about headed to the exits. I thought that's where Ronnie Brown was going. He looked like he wanted to leave this ballpark in a hurry. Take a look at that blocking at the point of attack, and then it's up to the rookie, the lone bear, to try to run him down. Look at that blocking up front. Vernon Carey runs his guy all the way out of there. Great block by Darian Barnes, the fullback.
You just made a point of talking about what an outstanding job that offensive line, and there are the Bears fans.
Woo, baby, they are gone.
27 carries, a career high 142 yards for Ronnie Brown today. Looking to add to it here. Still on his feet.
Well, this is why you play the game. Miami was a 2-touchdown underdog today and has come in here, and I know Nick Saban right now is going, oh, there's still 3 minutes left. And who knows what can happen, because it has happened to this team before. But boy, he's got to be proud of the way his guys have played.
We sat down with Nick last night and said, basically, what are your problems? He said, turnovers were our biggest problem. And he said, turnovers, dropped passes, and not being able to run the ball effectively.
Well, they had a few drop passes today. But running the ball effectively is one of the big reasons that they're where they are. But it started with a defensive effort by Jason Taylor and Zach Thomas and Kevin Carter and that whole group there, where they just, man, they played like guys who have a lot of pride.
Dan, they've gotten about a month's worth of turnovers in one afternoon. 2nd and 5. Brown reverses field. Harrington out in front of him, throwing a block, and to the 5-yard line goes Ronnie Brown.
Easy up, man, easy up.
Well, when your quarterback is your lead blocker, that's either good news or bad news, in the sense that a lot of times it's because you found yourself some open territory. Look at Joey get out there. Not bad form. Yay. He gets in there, gets into Nathan Vasher, and knocks him back a little bit. That's
Dan,
pretty good.
This Miami team arrived in town averaging 88 rushing yards a game. Ronnie Brown is up to 157. Sammy Morris now in the backfield. 1st and goal for Miami. Morris to about the 3, maybe the 2. Welcome to those of you joining us here at Soldier Field. 2 minutes, 19 seconds to play in regulation. And the Chicago Bears have just used their 3rd and final timeout. Jason Taylor and the rest of the Dolphins all smiles on the sideline. What an effort they've put in here today.
And now if this game goes Miami's way, there'll be but one undefeated team left in the NFL, the Indianapolis Colts. And the Chicago Bears start a very interesting road trip. They are headed on their little northeast swing as they go back-to-back weeks at the Meadowlands, first against the Giants, then against the Jets, and then to New England to play the Patriots, back home to entertain the Vikings, and then on the road in the Dome against St. Louis. 5 tough weeks coming up, Greg.
And not to discredit the Bears' record to date, but in their 7 victories, they only played 2 teams that hold a winning record at this point, Minnesota and Seattle. The Bears now out of timeout. 2nd and goal. Harrington loses his footing, still gets the ball to Brown, who slips down. But that should take us to the 2-minute warning.
No style points awarded on that play.
2 minutes to play here in Chicago. The Bears looking at an undefeated season going out the door. Coming up next year on CBS, Denver, Pittsburgh, Cleveland, San Diego still to come as the home fans are kind of quiet. You know, you're likely to hear some baloney this week from somewhere, Dan, about how this may be a good thing for the Bears, but losing can never be as good for a team as winning. I think any coach will tell you that. On 3rd and goal. Brown.
Whoa! Wow! Now, folks, for those of you that have been joining us here during the course of the 4th quarter, that's indicative of the kind of hitting we have seen all day.
Let's go back and watch and listen.
And imagine who came in to clean that up. Brian Urlacher. We have been seeing ferocious hitting here from the first play of the game.
So now Olindo Mare comes on with the field goal unit, and they're letting the clock wind down. And the holder, Donnie Jones, standing right there with referee Pete Morelli with an eye on the clock and calls timeout. Miami uses its 2nd timeout. 1:13 to play.
And Joey Harrington increases his already winning record against the Chicago Bears.
4-3 lifetime. He'll boost it to 5-3. Meanwhile, what's ahead for the Dolphins?
Well, they're back home the next couple of weeks entertaining the Chiefs and then the Vikings. And then they go to Detroit and then again back home for Jacksonville and New England. And you can see 4 out of those 5 teams all have winning records.
Olindo Mare from 20 yards out. And it's good. What a happy plane ride south this is going to be for the Miami Dolphins today.
And that guy, in so many ways, I think physically, emotionally led the way. Jason Taylor took umbrage all during the course of the week. Criticism of his head coach, criticism of them as a football team. He went public, decided, well, I think my coach deserves to be defended, and I'll stand up and do it, Greg. And we find that very admirable.
Well, he isn't denying what this team has been through. He told us last night he's been through a couple of tough years, but nothing like this. And he didn't buy into all of the Sports Illustrated hype, but he did think that his team would perform better than it has to date.
Now the reality is going to set in that they still are only 2-6. And you have to say, well, geez, why haven't we played like this more often? That's unanswered. I certainly don't have the answer.
2-6 beats 1-7, though, doesn't it?
Well, 2-6 in this case beats 7-0.
We are told that Brian Urlacher has gone to the locker room.
Well, we saw him make that big hit on 3rd down at the goal line. And he stayed out there for the Murray field goal, and Urlacher went in.
This is Rashid Davis from the 2. 20, 25, 30. Out across the 35, across the 40 to the 43-yard line. Fine return by Rashid Davis. 61 seconds on the clock.
We've got a Miami player hurt back at the 25-yard line, too. Here's Brian Urlacher. Look at him go in and make that. Ooh, it looked like his left leg flexed, and now he's getting it caught underneath. Ooh, you can see him with a look of pain on his face, too, as the pile kind of came in and fell on Urlacher's left leg.
Meanwhile, Eddie Jackson is down on the field at about the 25-yard line. Jackson, a 3rd-year cornerback out of Arkansas. Mark Bulger has thrown for 354 yards today.
And in a losing effort, which is what you see a lot of the times.
Larry Johnson, 172 yards. Ronnie Brown with 157 here, the 6th best number in the NFL so far this season.
Barry Johnson joining a long list of running backs that have gashed the Rams defense this year. You take a look at those stats by Bulger and by Johnson. You know that the team that had the guy that rushes for 172, that's the team that wins the ball game. Give me the guy that runs for 170 something versus the guy that throws for 350.
There is Joey Harrington. Harrington, the last time out, we mentioned this earlier in the day, in the loss to Green Bay, threw 62 times for 414 yards. Today, he's 50%, 16 of 32, 137, 3 touchdowns, and he's been picked twice. Grossman. And that is incomplete, intended for Desmond Clark. Those numbers we just told you about for Harrington. Meanwhile, the 31 points allowed by the Bears today, the most allowed by them since the last week of the 04 season when Green Bay registered a 31-14 win.
You saw that a quarterback rating of 66 on the road is nothing special. But take a look at the rating for the home quarterback, 32.8.
Grossman, and that's incomplete.
Rex Grossman's home quarterback rating so far this year had been 124.
That's going to take a hit.
Yeah, and overall he was almost 90 at 89.6. I think the one stat that nobody saw coming, least of all the guys playing defense for Chicago, was Ronnie Brown's totals. Their ability to run the football, coupled with the Bears' fondness for turning it over, the difference in this game.
Grossman on 3rd and 10. Throws, and that's complete. Near side and out of bounds at the 37-yard line is Desmond Clark. Make it the 38-yard line. That's a first down. 47 seconds on the clock.
It is the Bears' first and 10 of the Miami 38.
Dan, I remember you asking a couple of the Bears a couple of times, can you imagine turning the ball over 6 times and actually winning the football game, as they did at Arizona?
I think you only get that once.
Grossman doesn't connect with Clark. Jeremiah Bell covering, and we're down to 43 seconds. More than anything, Dan, what this game shows, and what you and I have discussed many times, emotion plays such a role in the game of football.
Yes, it does. Maybe more than any other sport. A lot of times it can't sustain you for 60 minutes. A lot of times it helps you win the first quarter. In this case, it not only sustained the Dolphins, but they kept it going for 60 minutes. There's Jason. Almost had another interception. Almost had another.
Lightning quick reaction. His man let him go, and watch him just stick a paw out.
Doot. Look at him stand. Just gets it with his left hand. Yeah. See, the guy wants to.
Now that's getting greedy.
He wants everything.
I bet he wants more. Lovie Smith will be level-headed as usual about this, and it'll be business as usual.
Right
back to work. 3rd and 10. Grossman throws out here to Thomas Jones, and Jones pulls his way forward inside the 35-yard line.
I know one of the things that Lovie Smith is going to have to do. He and Ron Turner are going to have to get busy with Rex Grossman and his throwing mechanics. Rex admitted to us that he's had problems with his mechanics, and I thought today he had a couple throws that were just not up to snuff because he didn't step into it.
Grossman throws outside, and that is complete on the far side of the field to Rasheed Davis. Will Allen with the tackle. And the ball goes over on downs. We go to New York and JB.
Greg and Dan most agree a must-win situation for the Steelers, but take a look. It's Denver striking first. Jake Plummer hooking up with Rod Smith. 16 yards. Nice haul in. Broncos on top 7-0. Most of you will see this game coming up after your game. Back to Greg and Dan.
James, thank you very much. 12 seconds on the clock here as the Miami Dolphins take over to close it out. One snap and it'll be all over. And yeah, you bet, Nick Saban with an arm around Jason Taylor.
You almost, for Nick Saban, you almost hate for tomorrow to come, because that's when you realize you are 2-6, because tonight should be savored and enjoyed a little bit.
Joey Harrington takes a knee, and the Chicago Bears' undefeated season goes out to the window. Indianapolis, the remaining unbeaten in the National Football League for Dan Deerdorf. Greg Gumbel, so long from Chicago. Miami, a 31-13 winner. After this message, we'll send you to Game 2 of our doubleheader. You're watching the NFL on CBS.